Don in London, hello. September the 16th, 2009. My videos are all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, I guess trying to be perfect, workaholic, relationshipaholic, any old bollock, or ism. And these days I know it's just simply progress and not perfection. And another thing which sometimes I usually say around the present moment, it is imperfectly perfect, the ever-present moment of now. So what's working for me today? Well, we had 24 hours of darkness and clouds and rain, and it's cleared the air. And today the weather, well, there's a little bit of sunshine, you can see a bit in the background there, and life's okay. I feel good this morning. Went to a great meeting of the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't speak for it, never can, never will. It's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves as and where they choose to. And that's the gift of recovery. We get our wits back on a daily basis. Well, at least we get the opportunity. And maybe to be restored to some form of sanity on a daily basis. All to the good. So, sober comes first in my life, and then the rest can work. And the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, family, community, professionals, you name it. It's a bit of an eclectic mix when it comes to keeping well and as best one can be on a daily basis. So the greatest gift is to be included, back in, included in life. And the bedrock for me is fellowship and friendship. So I feel enormous amounts of gratitude just to be here, because it was touch and go a few times, and to find myself having a life and just finding out who I am on a daily basis. So it's a daily basis thing. I don't need to push myself to be perfect. I don't need to push myself at being the best at anything. All I need to do is find the middle ground where I can enjoy and find joy or sadness as the day affords and what is happening, and to be aware of my surroundings too. So this thing of fellowship, well, if you'd asked me 10 years ago what is AA, I wouldn't have had a clue. I was in a darkened room, isolated, and had no idea. But these days I have a better idea of what AA can and cannot do for me, and what it does for other people too. And here I share a lot about AA literature and how life is working. And I share the AA Fellowship Statement of Intent, or preamble, shared at every meeting. And whether we're a newcomer or an old-timer or somewhere in the middle like me, just making one day work, this preamble helps me slow down into the moment, as does coffee. And the statement goes like this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in that paragraph, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. For a long time I didn't even know that would be a good desire, and where it says our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, we all do it in our own way, and it's all to do with unity, service and recovery. And in the programme we have 12 steps of action to change attitude and behaviour for individuals, and then we have 12 traditions which hold the fellowship together, which is all about unity, service and recovery, and they're all on this little card. So I normally keep one of these about me just as a gentle reference for myself, and in case the literature person hasn't turned up at a meeting. And I also keep my little AA book with me as well, the big blue little book, which I have here, this one, which can be very useful as a starting point when a meeting is bereft of literature. But last night it wasn't, and it was a great meeting. There was such a lot of downpours last night. I didn't think anybody would turn up, but it was a full group, and it was great. And here like in AA, I share. So daily reflections, this one is about the 12 steps, 1 step a month, and it's the 9th month and the 9th step, all about making amends. And in the 12 traditions and 12 steps, this little blue book, it has all the steps and all the traditions and what they're about, and also as Bill sees it. And the readings today in the daily reflections and as Bill sees it is very much about change and keeping on going. But just a reminder of what step 9 is about as well, being September. I'll just read out the summary here. It says, direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. A tranquil mind is the first requisite for good judgment. Good timing is important in making amends. What is courage? Prudence means taking calculated chances. Amends begin when we join AA. Peace of mind cannot be bought at the expense of others. Need for discretion, readiness to take consequences of our past, and to take responsibility for well-being of others in the spirit of step 9. And that is responsibility in all aspects of living, so that we are, as a responsible person, we can experience life as it is and get to the truth. And in the programme, higher power is important, a power greater than us, which means that we can get a bit of humility and knock out our ego. So my higher power is truth, and as Gandhi said, God is truth. So whenever I refer to God, it's just my understanding, and everybody develops their own understanding of God. There are 6.5 billion people on the planet. They all have an understanding of God in their lives, whether they believe or not. And the gift is they're all right for themselves, and I need not judge anybody's sobriety or belief. What a relief, what a relief. And then, my ego disappears some more as well. So the readings, I may not have time for all of them, but this one, Daily Reflections, it says, we stand or fall together. No society of men or women ever had a more urgent need for continuous effectiveness and permanent unity. We alcoholics see that we must work together and hang together, else most of us will finally die alone. Yeah, that reminds me of just how isolated I was in the last days of my drinking. Just as the 12 steps of AA are written in a specific sequence for a reason, so it is with the 12 traditions. The first step and the first tradition attempt to instill in me enough humility to allow me a chance at survival. Together they are the basic foundation upon which the steps and traditions that follow are built. It is a process of ego deflation which allows me to grow as an individual through the steps, and as a contributing member of the group through the traditions. Full acceptance of the first tradition allows me to set aside personal ambition, fears and anger when they are in conflict with the common good, thus permitting me to work with others for our mutual survival. Without tradition 1, I stand little chance of maintaining the unity required to work with others effectively, and I also stand to lose the remaining 12 traditions, 11 traditions, the fellowship and my life. And I've learned that the hard way, and it's important for me to understand. Tradition 1 is about not judging other people, also allowing people to be whoever, not allowing, but just accepting where people are today, and that it's not for me to tell anybody else what to do. So, all to the good. And then, in As Bill Sees It, I've just about got time for this. It said on page 207, the fellowship's future. It seems proved that AA can stand on its own feet anywhere under any conditions. It has outgrown any dependence it might once have had upon the personalities or efforts of a few older members like me. New, able and vigorous people keep coming to the surface, turning up where they are needed. Besides, AA has reached enough spiritual maturity to know that its final dependence is upon God, the truth. And there is another paragraph which talks about how important it is for AA to keep changing, to keep evolving and growing. I haven't got time to cover it, but that sentiment of change, always change, and sharing the message is fundamental to my recovery. So, at the end of all these videos, I always say that it's serenity prayer to God or good conscience. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today.